Hi, everybody, and welcome into this week's edition of the Coach O Show. I'm Ryan Beckman, along with Wildcat head football coach Chris Ostrowski. And coming up on this week's show, we'll take a look at the Wildcats' 31-14 road victory over the Quincy Hawks. We'll take a look at the highlights, get coaches' thoughts. We'll hear from defensive coordinator Joe Ballard, and also look ahead to next week's game for the Cats on the road at Hillsdale. But Coach, you go out on the road for the first time this season and take care of business, putting 31 points on the board and holding the opponent to 14.
Yeah, it was a great trip. A long trip. Long trip. About a 12-hour bus ride down to Quincy, Illinois, which is, I guess, just north of St. Louis, Missouri.
A couple hours.
So it was far, and I was really proud of the way our players responded to the task at hand. And we beat a football team that was really ready to play the game and was really ready to win the game. And you know, I think that's unique in terms of understanding. They won their opener. They're a program that's building. Similar to what we are. The head coach has been there 3 years and trying to create something special. They were really a team committed to getting a win. So I was really excited to see us respond the way we did.
Offensively, really a balanced attack, 157 yards on the ground, 220 through the air, so getting it done both ways for you guys.
Yeah, no question. I think we were really focused on a game plan this week, and our players really executed the plan during the course of the week. And then you can't say enough for our 5 offensive linemen. They worked. I mean, they got after it, and they were physical, and they were nasty. And Wyatt was consistent, and he was explosive. He did all the things that you want from a 235-pound tailback. And I thought Shea distributed the football properly and made some really good plays within the air. And then we mixed up some things and had some other guys factor in and play that maybe haven't played for us in week 1. So overall, offensively, it's absolutely a nice day.
Absolutely. You mentioned Wyatt Jerson, 29 carries, 135 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the day, so a nice afternoon for him.
For sure.
How about on the defensive side of things? You hold the team on their home field at 14 points and really got to the quarterback with 5 sacks.
There's no question. We've played 8 good football quarters here in this season defensively, and I'm just so excited to see them continue to progress as a staff, as a base. I just think they continue to get better with Coach Ballard coordinating that group. With every day, he gets better at what we're trying to accomplish, and our players are really responding. We're fast, we're physical, we're downhill, and we really created some really critical stops in that football game. Ryan, there was a 5-series sequence where they didn't get a 3rd down, and we scored all 5 times. So it was pretty good. 4 touchdowns and a field goal. So it was an exciting thing for us on both sides of the ball.
Really great game for the Wildcats. We'll take a break here on the Coach O Show. When we come back, we'll chat with defensive coordinator Joe Ballard. Stick with us. Back after this.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by
We are back here on the Coach O Show and joined now by Wildcat defensive coordinator Joe Ballard. And Joe, nice to have you on the program. Let's talk about the 31-14 win against Quincy on Saturday. Got to be real happy with the way your defense played.
Yeah, the defense is coming out playing fast, downhill, playing physical football right now. So, yeah, we were very happy with the results on Saturday.
You know, the opponent to 14 points on their home field, that has to give some confidence to this defense. Yeah, we were really excited about how they came out and just played, got down to business. There was no messing around, just go with the call, play each play, and go from there. Guys did a great job getting to the quarterback. 5 sacks on Quincy quarterback Nick Lonergan on Saturday, and a couple other times put him on his back. What was key to getting to him on Saturday? Well, the number one thing we had to do was stop the run. So we wanted to definitely get him out of their game plan and get him throwing the ball so we could bring some pressures and kind of take advantage of some of their players that we had scouted out and seen that we could mix them up and mess them around with their some of their blocking assignments. Well, in addition to coaching as a defensive coordinator, you also coach the defensive backs. What have you seen from those guys this season? Well, a lot of these guys are playing fast. I still have some young guys and some guys that are moving around. You know, Pat Ryan is a sophomore. He's a player that's coming out that's given us everything we need defensively. Brandon August is a new face, a new name that's helping right now at the corner position and at the safety position, and he's done a great job taking the coaching, understanding what his techniques are, and playing within the framework of the defense.
Well, the two captains on the defensive side really had a nice game on Saturday and really have shown their worth in the first two games, and Levi Perry and Trevor Cruzel. What have they brought to the program here in their seasons?
Yeah, Cruzel brings a leadership role with experience from being back from last year. He's doing great things with his technique. He's understanding the defense. He's understanding where he's supposed to fit and how he fits in to being that 111th. And Levi Perry's he's playing at a different level. He's playing fast. He's downhill. He's doing everything he needs to do.
In your second season as a defensive coordinator for the Wildcats, what's different about this season for you?
Well, comfort is probably the number one thing. I got a great staff with Carl Meslowski and John Perella and Matt Forward. Just doing a great job having my back and understanding things I want to do and helping me get it accomplished.
Have you felt that you've put your identity on the defense?
Yeah, we've definitely taken the defense to the level we want them to be. So yeah, I do feel very comfortable with that. It's Joe Ballard's defense right now with Northern Michigan's name on it. So. For sure.
Always a good thing. Well, the Wildcats 31-14 winners over Quincy, and back out on the road this week, and I know it'll be a busy week, so Coach, we appreciate your time, and good luck this week.
Thanks for having me.
We'll take a break here on the Coach O Show. When we come back, we'll get into the highlights of the win against Quincy back after this on the Coach O Show.
Hey Wildcat fans, it's trivia time. Which former NMU player holds the record for the most points scored in one season? Was it A, Scott Amahouse, B, George Works, or C, Tom Bertolli? Find out after the break. Which former NMU player holds the record for the most points scored in one season? The correct answer was B, George Works, with 138 points.
Welcome back to the Coach O Show, and now we'll get into the portion of looking at the highlights from the win against Quincy on Saturday. And Coach, both offensively and defensively, quite a number of highlights that we could choose from this week.
Yeah, absolutely, and we talk about it as my favorite part of the show here.
Absolutely.
For sure. This was a 1st and 10 call, and it was off of a pretty nice sequence defensively. We were able to get a short field, if you will, on their side of the 50-yard line. We're just in a 3-by-1 set and do a little play action pass. Shea puts the ball up in the air, and Kelvin just makes a great play on the ball, understands where the goal line is, and those are plays you need to be special, and that's a touchdown. And we watch it again. It looks like, well, that looks like college football right there, and that's a nice play for us. So that was an exciting part at that point, and made it the game 7-7, and really tried to sway the momentum, if you will, on the road.
Talk a little about his awareness there, because as soon as he caught it, he had to make that spin move, and as a senior to make that move.
Yeah, no question. I just think it's a real athletic play. And we talk about this view as well as a teaching tool for our interior players. But as you see, the tight copy is what we call it. He just made a great play on the football and then has a little spin and gets in the end zone. Kelvin, right at this point, is really producing. He's doing a great job for us. He's had 2 great chances in week 1 and week 2, and he's making the best of them.
Yeah, 6 receptions in both games, goes over 100 yards on Saturday, so another phenomenal game for him.
Nice start, absolutely. We're in an empty set here. We're in a no-back set, and just a great awareness here by Shea Brown. We kind of recoil a little bit, and then he creates some space for himself. And that's a true freshman from St. Rita High School in Chicago, a kid named Julian Crum. Does a great job adjusting to the scramble drill, puts the ball up in the air, and that's one of those special plays that you got to have from your player base. Sometimes it's not going to be perfect in terms of the play call and the execution, but you got to be able to adjust and improvise during the play. So that was a really good football play for us. And again, you see it from the tight view. He reset himself, got the ball vertical, put the ball where he can catch it, and right in the hole, and that's a good catch for us, big gain.
How much does that show the growth of Shea Brown to be able to pull it down and go through his progressions?
Absolutely. Like we said, he's going to continue to progress and evolve game by game. So, yeah, that was a nice play for him. Now we get down here, and we're inside the 10-yard line in the red zone, and obviously we feel pretty sure that they're in a zero cover concept-wise. So we're gonna try to gash them here in our run game, and our offensive line just does a great job, and Wyatt hits it vertical, and when it looks like that, you feel pretty good about the way things are going, for sure.
Absolutely, and as we talked about in the opening segment, just a phenomenal game for Wyatt Jurison.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, and I think the key deal here is our interior guys, like Kyle Stuke, our center, 58, and Kent King. Those guys get a great push, and Jamal Brown's a newcomer, new face, puts his guy on the ground there, which is a shade player, and then the rest is Wyatt getting up in the end zone. So that was a great play for us. Okay, similar look here, and we kind of sequence the next drive in the same area, and we run the same exact play the other way, and again the same result. So that's a great football play for us.
Absolutely, yeah. Wyatt on the day, 135 yards on the ground, so really the workhorse for you guys on 29 carries.
Absolutely, and we milked that cow a little bit, and he did a great job for us. You know, so it was a special day offensively. There was a number of plays that we could have showcased for sure. I thought those were really special. So exciting to keep seeing us grow.
I want to go back and talk about the wide receivers for a moment, because there's really some depth there with Kelvin Smart, Marcus Tucker, Austin Young, Trey Hipke, Julian Crum, Gabe Epper. I mean, the list just goes on.
Yeah, that group is doing a heck of a job right now for us. Coach Knight, Marcus Knight, who coaches the receivers, brings a tremendous amount of knowledge in terms of what it means to be a perimeter player, and how it starts in terms of foundation. So blocking on the perimeter, you know, running good routes, finishing the top of your route, which is the end of the route, catching the ball with your hands, and then getting vertical. So we really try to progress as best we can within that deal there.
Well, that's a look at the offensive highlights for this week. We'll take a break. We'll come back and take a look at the defensive highlights right here on the Coach O Show.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by
As we continue on the Coach O Show, let's now get into taking a look at the defensive highlights, and just like on the offensive side, number to choose from the game on Saturday.
That's for sure. That's for sure. You know, I think the main key for us defensively within the program is we really wanted our defense to marry our offensive philosophy in terms of creating a dynamic product that plays with speed and is downhill. So that's the premise of the foundation. And when you see these plays, you know, I think it's pretty obvious that we're trying to simulate that kind of deal there. Just a great play by Trevor Cruzel up there in the corner on the top part, and he just basically, you know, outclasses his young man and does a great job of getting to the quarterback up top. But we also get a great push from our nose, which is the player in the middle. And when we reverse this thing, you'll see it. So we have those two gentlemen right there. There's a player that's shaded on the nose guard, and then a player outside of the guard, and we're walking people up and trying to create some disguises. And then those two guys up the middle just get an outstanding push, and really it's a race to the quarterback, whether it's going to be Trevor or Jordan Aditeron. And then, of course, you got to play great coverage behind it, and you got to contain to keep the quarterback in there. So I thought that was a heck of a play, just in terms of the speed in which we got to the quarterback. Here's another one where we dial one up here. We're going to bring some pressure, and we get after pretty good. That's a redshirt sophomore named Matt Boonstra, a wonderful young man, played a great product from Rockford High School down in the Lower Peninsula, understands what championships equal, and has just gotten better and better and better since he's gotten here. And again, we'll take a look at the play as it goes forward, and just fast. I mean, we've got a bunch of guys that run, that understand what it means to get there. We'll take a look at this view, and again, just getting after the quarterback in a hurry and dialing him up and giving some different looks.
Yeah, just a great jump from him right from the get-go.
Right from the get-go, yeah, absolutely. Okay, we get another look here where, again, we're in a pressure mode. We're going to come get you a little bit. And this was a big play. This was a huge play in the deal. We go up 28-14 here, and we get an opportunity to get a turnover, which we get. And gosh, when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys race to the quarterback that could have made that play, you feel pretty good because you could play coverage behind it and you could drop some people. So that was a great football play. As we take a look at the deal here, we call this an old baby play for us in the program. So we're getting after you, and again now it's Jordan Dideron, who's a local product from Gwynn, and he's getting after him. And again, Trevor makes a big play, and then Jordan's right by it, and boom, we got a fumble recovery, and there we are. Now, we talked about it as a staff. It would have been great to see Jordan scoop that thing and score, but maybe that'll happen next time. But again, everybody flying around, doing a great job, having fun, enthusiastic. And then finally here, we get into a mode where we catch him in a long yardage deal, and again, it's a race to the quarterback. It really is. And it was that way all day, and that's exciting to see just how fast we get to the quarterback. And that one there was obviously one of our captains, Levi Perry, who's really shined in terms of being a third-level player to a second-level player, going from the secondary to the linebackers. So we're real excited about that group.
We look at a couple of the sacks and the guys getting in, especially in that front line. Jordan Dideron, Trevor Crisell, both seniors, both know how to get the job done.
Absolutely. They've played a lot of quality minutes for us in the last year and a half, and they'll continue to progress as we move forward this season.
Wildcat defense holding Quincy to 14 points on the road. I know that's got to make you happy and some confidence heading into next week.
So. Oh, there's no question about it. Yeah.
We'll take a break here on the Coach O Show. We'll go to the final segment and look ahead to Hillsdale when we continue right after this. Well, we go to the final segment here on the Coach O Show, and as we do that, we'll look ahead to next week against the Hillsdale Chargers as you get back into conference play, Coach, and right back on the road. And let's talk about Hillsdale. 48-41 winners for them against Lake Erie on Saturday. They had to use a last-minute touchdown to get there, but one heck of a program in Hillsdale.
Yeah, historically a top-tier GLIAC school. Has had tons and tons of success for a long, long time. It's going to be their home opener. I'm sure it's going to be really a hostile environment back in GLIAC play. Excited to get our guys through the work week, but not in a rush. We want to just do a great job preparing each day individually, and then the weekend will take care of itself.
Now, 2 weeks in a row, we've had to go up against an opponent that had their home opener. Getting used to that already, huh?
Yeah, that seems to be the theme right now. Yeah, for sure.
Well, as you get back into GLIAC play and as you go back on the road, how much confidence do you take going in after having this week on the road?
We met with the players today, and we told them the same thing we talked about last week, Ryan. Whether you win or you lose, you got to have the same perspective as you approach the next week. So yeah, we're really obviously happier to win than to lose, of course. I mean, that's why we're here. But at the same time, I thought we were a football team that underachieved 2 weeks ago. And I knew that, so we knew we have the pieces in place as a coaching staff. We understand what the blueprint is, and we just got to keep pushing and prodding. So this is a big week for us. There's no doubt about it. But we're excited to go through the week and get down there and play.
One area I want to talk to you about real quick when you get a chance to with the highlights, but your red zone efficiency this season, perfect inside the red zone and really the mark of a winner.
Yeah, but we're going to knock on wood. But we talk about red zone points and stopping people in the red zone, and that will eventually turn this thing into something special.
Well, the Wildcats heading out on the road for the second week in a row, going up against the Hillsdale Chargers, and as you said, you got to be looking forward to get back into GLIAC play.
Yeah, that's for sure. A great football team. It's going to be a great challenge.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of the Coach O Show, as again the Wildcats heading back out on the road to take on the Hillsdale Chargers. Join us next week as we will take a look at highlights and get set for the homecoming matchup against Michigan Tech. That's it for the Coach O Show. Thanks for tuning in. So long, everybody.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by